Do you ever just feel like you weren't built for this modern world? Like your brain is constantly buzzing, overwhelmed, anxious, distracted? Well, turns out you're not wrong. You're not broken. We're about to dive into a really powerful way to understand why life feels this way, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
This quote right here is the master key to unlocking everything we're going to talk about. Just let that sink in for a second. Your core programming, your instincts, your brain's operating system, it's ancient, but the world you're trying to use it in is brand new and just ridiculously complex. And that mismatch, that's the root cause of so much of our modern stress.
So let's break that down. What does this mismatch actually look like day to day? What is this fundamental problem that we're all wrestling with?
This slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, that's the world we were built for. Small tribes, simple food sources, real, physical dangers like, a tiger. But on the right, that's our world. A never-ending storm of notifications, hyper-palatable engineered foods, and these vague, abstract worries that never seem to go away. Our brains are hardwired for the left, but we're forced to live in the chaos on the right. And this new world, it basically exploits every single one of our old-school vulnerabilities.
Okay, so if we're going to take back control, we first have to figure out who's actually in control. And here's the surprising part. The idea that there is a single you calling all the shots, well, it's basically a myth. It's way more like a loud, chaotic committee meeting happening inside your head. In fact, you're not really one person. You're more like a collection of at least 7 different competing sub-personalities, or actors. And each one of them evolved to do a very specific job, and they are constantly fighting for the steering wheel of your brain. And here they are, the whole cast of characters. You've got the night watchman, the team player, the go-getter, each one with its own agenda. Now, we're not going to break down all 7 today, but let's zoom in on 3 of the most powerful ones, just to see how this inner committee can work against you in the modern world. First up, the night watchman. This is your internal alarm system, your threat detector. For thousands and thousands of years, its only job has been to scan your surroundings for danger and, well, keep you from dying. And it's really, really good at its job, but its definition of danger is, let's say, a little outdated.
And this is where the trouble starts. In a world without constant physical threats, the night watchman kind of goes haywire. That vague text message from your boss, a scary news headline, to this ancient part of your brain that can register with the same level of panic as a predator in the bushes. And that leads directly to things like chronic anxiety, endlessly scrolling through bad news, and staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. It's not a flaw in you. It's an ancient system running in the completely wrong environment. So here's the key. You can't reason with a night watchman. You can't talk it down. You have to communicate in its language, and its language is signals of safety. So, as you see here, this means controlling what information you let in, maybe no news before your morning coffee. It means creating predictable routines that signal everything is okay. And if you're in a moment of panic, you use a grounding technique. Force your brain to notice 5 real things in the room. You're sending a direct message. The threat isn't here, right now. You are safe.
All right, let's move on to the next actor, the team player. This one is huge. For our ancestors, getting kicked out of the tribe was a death sentence, plain and simple. So we evolved this incredibly powerful, deep-seated need to belong, to fit in, and to be accepted by the group. And in today's world, this belonging circuit gets hijacked. It's manipulated into chasing likes on social media, into forming these weird one-sided relationships with influencers, and it fuels that constant fear of missing out. It's the reason you can feel so deeply lonely, even when you're technically more connected to people than at any time in history. Okay, let's talk about the go-getter. This is your inner status seeker, your competitor. Back in a small tribe, improving your rank meant better food, a better mate, better chances of survival. So we are hardwired to want to climb that social ladder. But what happens when the tribe isn't 150 people you know, but all 8 billion people on Earth, perfectly curated on Instagram and LinkedIn? The go-getter completely loses its nide. It creates this crippling addiction to comparison, an obsession with career, and that nagging feeling of being an imposter no matter what you achieve. The goalposts for success are always moving, and that's a direct path to burnout.
So we get the problem, right? Our ancient brain actors are misfiring all over the place in this new world. The solution, then, isn't to just try harder or to fight our own nature with willpower. No, the solution is to change the world that we put our nature into.
This is the new golden rule. Seriously, Forget willpower. Willpower is a limited resource, and it is absolutely no match for a world that is scientifically engineered to make you fail. If you really want to change your behavior, you have to stop fighting yourself and start redesigning your surroundings. Let's make this super concrete with food. Using the ideas on this slide, engineer your kitchen. You want to make unhealthy food invisible and add a lot of friction, so put the cookies on the highest shelf in a container you have to open. For healthy food, you do the exact opposite. Make it super visible and low friction, like a bowl of apples right on the counter. You're simply making the right choice, the easiest, laziest choice. That's a game you can actually win. And this same idea applies directly to your focus. Your phone is a weapon of mass distraction, so you have to engineer your environment to fight back. Follow this protocol. First, kill every non-essential notification, now. Second, and this one is non-negotiable, put your phone in a different room when you need to do real work. Third, work in focused bursts. And finally, just delete the infinite scroll apps. You are deliberately creating an environment where focus is the default, not a struggle.
So this all boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful new philosophy for modern life. You could call it a new prime directive.
Really let this one sink in. Modern life is a battle of design. On one side, you have armies of brilliant engineers and marketers designing apps and foods and algorithms to hijack your ancient brain for their profit. If you just show up to that fight with your willpower, you are going to lose. If you let them design your world for you, you lose.
So the only winning move is to take the pencil out of their hands and become the architect of your own environment. This reframes the whole thing. Self-improvement is no longer a brutal battle of self-discipline. It becomes an act of intelligent, intentional design. When you take control of the inputs in your life, the outputs you want will start to follow naturally. So, the question to leave you with isn't, how can I be better? The real question is, what's one thing I can change in my world right now? Is it the junk food on your counter? Is it the apps on your phone? The first 30 minutes of your morning? The power isn't in fighting your instincts anymore. It's in building a world where they can finally succeed.